Hey there. Ever wish you could have more control over the images and designs that Marky is creating for you? Be able to have a little bit more brand put in there, have it look the way you want so that when it's generated, you're closer to your final product? Well, today we're going to be going over how you can create your own templates in Marky. This is a super powerful feature that you can use to enhance the designs that Marky's generating for you, kind of create your own templates that Marky will then use to create posts from. Hi, I'm Eli. I am a co-founder of Marky, and today I'll be showing you how to use the template editor in Marky. So I'm in Marky here, and we're going to go into your design tab. This is where you're going to be able to access the template editor. Now, as you might know, any of these posts that Marky generates, if they're a design post, you can click into them and you can edit this design. In here, I can see the text, I can move it around, adjust the font, the imagery, I can pull in new images, all that kind of stuff here in this editor. Now, if I wanted a way, let's say I wanted a way to be able to have it closer to the final result. Maybe I like this design, but I don't really like that bookmark on the top right. And maybe I want to move this image to always be, full width instead of centered. Little adjustments like that you can do now with the template editor, and you can also just create your own new templates with the template editor from scratch. So let's look at how to create a template. In the design tab here, I can go into the template editor. Now, here it's worth to note, this is only available for the medium plans on up. So the solo plan won't have this feature, just the growth on up plans will include this feature. In here, you can see your themes and your templates. Now, you might have already been aware if you've ever tried to choose themes before for your designs, you still can do that through the stock tab. That's the same option that when you click add theme here, you can see all the themes that Marky has available. But say you want to create your own theme. Here you can create a theme and name it. So this one I might do, I might name it Travel Abroad, and it's going to be travel focused. In here, I can then create my first template. Click create template, and now I'm ready to go. Here I can add maybe a header, and I can choose where I want that, maybe some text if I want body text. And you can also add imagery. And so maybe we'll add some images. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm creating the template, the outline that the AI will use when it goes to create a post. So this header is where the AI will place in its own header. This body text is where the AI is going to be putting in body text. So keep that in mind as you're working on this. This isn't the real content that the post is going to have, but it's the templated content where the AI is going to automatically fill that text in. So we'll put that right there, and then we can add an image. Now I can add a placeholder image by clicking this placeholder, and what that'll do is it's just a shortcut to make it easy to add where I want an image is going to be, where I want the AI to insert images. So maybe I want an image, let's put these actually at the bottom, and let's put the image at the top. So now I've told the AI, I've told Marky that we're going to have an image at the top here, we're going to have a header, and then we're going to have some text here. Now there's a few more features that you can access if you want. You can change the character count. So if you want to change the length basically of your title, maybe you like long titles, maybe you like short titles, you can change that. So I could do 20 characters. And now that'll give me a rough idea of how many characters this header will have. I can also do things like change the size. Now this is technically the max size, so that's kind of why you'll see it change a little bit there. It'll try to fit everything in the box up to this size, so that's how that works. I can also change the character count. Maybe I want it a little bit less wordy, to just 50 characters. So a pretty short body there. And then we'll also even shorten this further just to make it a really big, simple header like that. Maybe like. All right, and then you can also add other types of text. So there's the call to action. This comes from your business profile settings. You can kind of define what type of call to actions you want there. And you can add that at the bottom if you wanted that. You can add your business name in here. You can add the tagline. These are all directly filled from your business profile that you set up on your Marky account. Now, you can also do, these are kind of two more unique features, is adding a prompt or adding a locked text. So let's start with locked text. This is text that's not going to get changed by the AI. So everything so far are things that the AI is going to autofill based on, your post and what you're talking about. Locked text will not change. We often use this for numbers on a carousel. So if we wanted to say, always show a 1 here, then we can put the 1 and put it in the corner. And now that 1 is always going to show up there, and the AI is not going to try to mess with that 1 if this is the first slide of a carousel. Some other things, if you wanted some text like pattern in the background, you could kind of set that to locked. There's some different options for locked text, but that's that option. And then there's also the prompt option. So this one is if you want to have more granular control on how the AI fills this text area. I suggest in general you stick with the header, the body, because that's going to be the most flexible for whatever post Marky's generating for you. We generate the caption first based off, all your business information and your profile. And then using that caption, we find a design and then generate the text for that design. So just using the header, the body, that should work great for you. But if you want to have a little bit more control about how it should fill, you can do that with this prompt type of text. And this one, you can give any guidance on how you want this text to be filled. Now, something that's really helpful for is we use it for memes. So, certain memes have different ways that they tell the joke. So we'll give guidance on, give something that's relatable to the audience that ties into what the post is talking about, something like that. But spin it this way. So that's something that you can use the prompt for. Now, it's also worth noting you can change the type between them after you've already put it in here. So say I added a prompt, but then I'm like, it can just be body. You can do that there. And then you have all your other settings that you are used to in Marky, where you can set the fonts and the colors and all that kind of stuff. Now, we talked about adding a placeholder image. You can also add a logo. So I can put my logo in the top right here, wherever I want that. Maybe we'll, just put it right there. Now, I can also add my avatar from my account settings, but I don't have one set. I don't really use that right now. So, but if you do use your avatar, your profile image, you can use that as well. And then there's other things that you'd expect, like shapes here. You can add in design elements and things like that. You can also upload SVGs if you have SVG designs that you want to include. You can do that here. And then we do show the images here. Just note, when I add an image, similar to text, how text has a type, images also have a type. So by default, they're auto, which means the AI will automatically replace this image. But you can also set it to locked. If you always want that image to appear in all the posts that this gets used on, you can lock it. That might be helpful is if you have a personal brand and you want to show your own picture, in all those posts, you can lock that and, choose whatever image you want, lock it. Or maybe if you have a gradient background that you're using, that's an image that you want to use as the background for the post, you can lock the image. So there's a few uses for that. And then you can also change it to a logo or avatar from there. So we talked about all those. You can change the default size. So often some users prefer to post for or create posts, Instagram first or Instagram story first, and then they'll repurpose it for other things. But whatever your default or whatever your social that you post on the most or whatever ratio you like the most, you can design these designs in that ratio, and then Marky will just generate in that ratio for the design you created. So if I did maybe a Facebook post that's a little bit wider, I could do that, and then now it'll generate in that ratio. That's a good way to change the ratio if you want to do that. And then something to note is so far all of these colors are not the real colors. These are, Marky uses smart color magic to figure out what colors things should be, and I can actually click this a few times to see how it might use this template with colors and with my brand colors. So if I click this a bunch, I see how it kind of switches things up. If I ever want something to guarantee that something's a certain color, I can do that, and that's by locking the color. So if I lock this to white, it's going to always be white. The header is always going to be white. So even if I change the background, that header is always white. And you want to be careful with this, because if it doesn't have its own backdrop, it might just be white on white. But if I unlock that, now it's always going to be legible using the Marky color logic. So you can also lock color on elements. So, what I would probably do in that case is I would make this box black, and then I would lock that as a background. And then I'd put the text on top, make it white, lock it, that kind of thing. So that way I'm just make sure it's legible. But yeah, that's that option. And otherwise, once you're happy with your design, say I have it just the way I like it, I can save the template, and I click save. It'll ask me where I want to save it. So this is where we created that new theme. I can save it there and click save. Now this template is saved into a theme. Here I can click into that theme. I can see what templates I currently have in there. I can add a new one. There's the things you'd expect, being able to edit the templates. You can also, if you can disable them if you're not ready to use them quite yet. But say we like this one. The little check mark is if you want to be using it or not. So let's just enable this one new theme, and I'm actually going to disable the all other themes. So that way we're just going to use my new theme and my own designs. Now, one other thing you can do before I move on is these are all the public themes in here that you can also preview, and you can click into these, see all the templates that are used in here. Any template you like from, say you don't want to design all your templates from scratch, you can go in here and you can duplicate any of our public themes and start from there. So let's say we duplicated this. We can duplicate, and now we're going to be able to edit that template and be able to make whatever changes we want. This is also really helpful for, say you have one or two themes you like a lot and you mostly use those for all your designs. You can just duplicate those, use them as your own themes, and then make all the edits you want. Maybe you want the logo a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. Maybe you want to delete a certain piece that you don't like, or resize an image or something like that. Any of those customizations that you're like, this theme is almost there for me, but I want it to have more imagery or less imagery, or I want more or less text, all that kind of stuff. That's a great use of duplicating a theme or a template. And you can also duplicate an entire theme, or you can just duplicate an individual template to your library. So that is the template editor. Let's now see how this gets used in Marky. I'm going to close out of this. You can see that I have enabled themes, just my one new theme called Travel Abroad. I can see, okay, it only has one design in it. Then I can go into posts, and let's try generating some posts. All right, so it's starting to generate those posts for me, and you can see that they're already using my designs, my template here. I can click into one of these. Let's see here. Okay, so we opened up that design here, and you can see that it's using an image from my image library. That's where that template image was. It's putting my logo there. It also has a header and a body text right here. So it filled in that template. One other quick note is there's another benefit of these templates in that you can go between them and use them when you've already have generated a post. So say this post, say I generated this post, but I wanted to switch it out. I can click a different design and it will keep all that information and load it in there. And then I can also go back into my own templates and select that template there, and it will load in that structure or that template for that design and kind of redesign it using this as a basis. So one other thing you can do as you're using these designs, we covered, creating a new template from scratch from there. But you can also, if you've been using Marky, maybe you've created some designs already, you want to use that design in your template. Let's see. You've created some designs. Let's say I moved this right here. And I have this design that I like that I already edited for a post. I can save that as a template. So I can save this as a new template, and that will let me choose what theme I want to save it to, and then I can use this for new posts. Now, also, you can open the original template. So say I generated this, I'm open the edit design button, but I realized that I wanted to change something about that template. I can open the template. I'll just discard whatever current changes I have there. And then now I can make any changes I want on the actual template itself. Maybe I want to make this image larger and save. And then now that will, for all future posts, it's going to have this new layout. So you can kind of just get a shortcut to go directly to edit that original template. And then here, this is the design. It's not the template, so I didn't get the changes. But I could, if I wanted to get those changes, I could just then, what we showed earlier, click on that. And then now it's using that new format and applying it to this design. And so that's how you can create your own templates within Marky and then use those when you're generating posts. Hopefully you learned something in this video. If there's anything that you're unsure about or still have questions on, always feel free to reach out to our support or leave your question in the comments and we'll try to get to it. Until then, thanks for watching and we'll see you on the next video.